Hello, this video is for my little sister, and it's about a problem that lots of people struggle with, overthinking. And I'm just mainly going to explore it and maybe come up with, like in the process of exploration, I'll present things that I do or ways to manage this. Like the problem with overthinking is this sense of, I guess from a functional perspective, it's very inefficient and it's not as organized as you think it is. And I think one of the main problems with it is you're trying to do everything in your head. And one of the best ways to stop with overthinking is to try to externalize, either to talk out or to write down or to draw, try to draw. Like you have to try to find a way to externalize your thoughts, externalize your mind, what it is you're going on about, and get a sense of what's going on in your mind. Like feel around. When you're overthinking, what are you actually doing? Are you cycling through the same thoughts? Or are you bouncing between? It's kind of like, sometimes it's like when you're walking and somebody's walking in front of you and don't know how to pass each other and you keep bouncing from one side to the other. Like, are you doing that? Are you toggling? Or are you just generating but not establishing or selecting anything and using it whatsoever? There's also the emotional feature of overthinking, where sometimes you have to figure out what emotion is guiding this thinking. Is it anxiety? Is it fear? Is it hope? Is it like all of the above? Like you have to figure out what emotion is actually inspiring the overthinking. What emotion is influencing you to keep overthinking? And what are you aiming for? Like you have to establish a goal to think sometimes, because thinking is very instrumental. Or you have to establish some sort of exploration, or develop a framework that you're going to use to gain some sort of knowledge, either about yourself or the situation, or whether you're trying to make a decision, whether you're weighing pros and cons, whether you're trying to see if the risks, like the costs, are more than the reward, or if the reward compensates for the cost, or things like that. You have to take all these different things into account. That's why it's very good to externalize these things, because you can't fully think these things through in your head. That's one of the reasons why you're overthinking. It's almost as if your brain is saying you're doing too much mentally, that you need to externalize, or that you have to organize, or you have to start from somewhere. And one of the difficulties with overthinking, the main reason why people overthink, is because they don't actually know how to think. Because thinking is an art. There's a style, there's a cultivation you develop, and you also cultivate a particular intuition, or maybe multiple types of intuitions, a feel for certain things, what to recognize, how long to think, what to think about, when to think, when to just allow yourself to imagine, when to just allow yourself to relax. Like one of the best things to do is, if you find yourself overthinking, is to just do something you enjoy, or to just take your mind off of it. Like come back to it later, take a bubble bath, or go for a walk, or eat, or just something that puts you into your body, something that lets your mind run, like let the default mode network of your mind go. And then you might come up with a solution, or you might come back with a fresher mind, fresher perception into the situation. So those are some of the ways to deal with overthinking. At least that's how I approach it. And I currently struggle with thinking, because it's easier for me to speak than to think. So I'm not prone to overthinking as much. I just tend to let things happen to me and wait for things to pop up. Or I'll try to externalize, like I'll write out what I want to think about, or how I want to think about it. Or I'll do a stream. Usually it's in conversation or interaction. That's when I'm able to say certain things or come up with certain things. Or I present it to somebody else to give me a solution, or to point out angles or dimensions or priorities that I'm missing, things I'm not paying attention to, or things I am paying attention to but I'm not paying attention to in a particular way. Like I have to change my manner of attention. So all these different things help with overthinking, and it helps you figure out how to approach a problem. So I guess my main message is to stop overthinking. Just stop overthinking. Like stop trying to think it through. Stop trying to figure it out in your head. Maybe meditate. Maybe just watch your thoughts. Watch how your mind is working. Like sit there and just watch. What is my mind doing? Where is my mind going? Like what are my feelings doing? What is my body doing? Like just watch yourself. Like become more perceptive. Don't try to just reason things through. Especially since most of the time unless not a lot of people are trained in how to reason either. So most of the time you'll probably make logical fallacies, or the premises that you establish. The premises are sort of like dreams or establishments, or like ways you present a situation, like you state like this is the case of a situation, and sometimes the premises are not exhaustive or comprehensive or accurate or all of the above. So you're not fully reasoning about the reality of what you're thinking about. So that's why you have to examine your mind and take to examining the situation more. Like lay out what's important to the situation, what have you noticed about the situation. So as I keep saying, externalize it. Externalize your mind, either in conversation or writing or drawing. Like that's something I've learned from my other sister. She's my third sister, right, from the third born. She's very good at externalizing her thoughts to figure things out. It's extroverted thinking, basically. Lots of TE. And that's the best way to stop overthinking. Because extroverted thinking in the Myers-Briggs or in different systems is very efficient. Like according to certain brain scans, they tend to have a very efficient brain. And that's because they stylize in problem solving, so they gain expertise. They might not go as in depth, but they do prioritize what is necessary. So you have to figure out what are the priorities of the situation, what are most important. I keep repeating myself. Anyway, I think I've said everything I wanted to say. So yeah, that's all I have to say about overthinking. I hope it helps somebody out there, and maybe you can explore and come up with ways to, you have to come up with, improve your sense of problem solving, improve your expertise with problems and how to approach things and how to work things out. You have to explore yourself more and explore how things work, not just churn out a product or follow a mechanism. Otherwise, you're basically a robot, and you're not actually doing anything useful. You're not actually being efficient. You're not actually being creative. You're not actually being healthy. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.